Morning, everyone. Yes, co-host is available. You can message to the co-host. So if you remember, yesterday we were discussing a bromine water test. Yes, Tulsiram, Sai Teja, Akshay, good morning. Super morning. We'll wait for a couple of minutes for other students also to join. Very less number are there right now. I'm Super Ray. How are you? Rupak, Vivek, Sai, good morning. Harshit, Rafi, good morning, good morning. I think Tulsi Ram messaged the first time. Is it? Yes, Akshay, fine. Rafi, fine. Yes, yes. Tulsi Ram, I was having a friend Tulsi Ram in when I was preparing for this one. BSc graduation. Yes, Ashwant, Siddharth. Good morning. Second test is not completed, Monish. I'll explain. Don't worry. This is not yet completed, Nana. Yes, Venkat Tarun, Prasanna. Yes, I am fine. There, Lokesh. Good morning. Chalo, Akash. Chalo. So let's get into the topic. Test for unsaturation. First of all, unsaturation, different types are possible. This is not degree of unsaturation. Degree of unsaturation is deficiency of hydrogens. Here, unsaturation is pi bonds. Understand the difference? Here, the unsaturation is exclusively pi bonds. And the pi bonds can be present between carbon atoms and also between carbon and heteroatoms, like carbon oxygen double bond in aldehydes and ketones, or in carboxylic acids, and in cyanides carbon nitrogen triple bond is there, like that. But here our test is to identify the unsaturation between the carbon atom, that is alkene and alkyne. This is one point you have to remember. For other functional groups, we are having specific tests to identify them. Okay, then next bromine water test. How to use this bromine water test to identify alkene or alkyne is present is, first of all, reagent is bromine plus water. Bromine is a liquid, reddish brown colored liquid. So such a bromine liquid dissolved in water or dissolved in carbon tetrachloride is the reagent. And the reagent, what is the color of the reagent? Reddish brown color. So if any alkene or alkyne or any carbon-carbon double bond or triple bond is present to such a compound, if you add bromine water, then the reddish brown color will be disappeared. That means the solution will be becoming colorless. So if reddish brown color disappears, you can say that there is some carbon-carbon multiple bond present, maybe alkene, alkyne, whatever it is. Okay. So this is what we have written here, and everybody have copied this page already. Yes or no? So now going to reactions. I think from here onwards we have to study. So if you take a compound hydrocarbon, it is a saturated hydrocarbon alkane. It does not have any unsaturation. Therefore, whatever the reddish brown color of bromine is there, when this is added, see, simple point it is. You will take a conical flask. In the conical flask, you will take the organic compound. Okay. let us take organic compound. To this organic compound, you will add some amount of reagent in the form of drops. You will add some drops. These reagent is a reddish brown color, and in this reactant, if alkane is present, whatever reddish brown color is there, that will be still maintaining in the solution also. The reddish brown color will be maintained still in the solution also, because there will be no reaction happen. Bromine will be present, Br2 will be present as Br2 only. But in the solution, in the beaker, if you have taken an alkene or alkyne, then what happens after reagent is added, the Br2 molecule will react with alkene or alkyne, and once the Br2 molecule is broken down, then a reddish brown color will disappear. So that is a test to identify the presence of alkene or alkyne. Here, alkane, no color change. Alkene, reddish brown color disappear by formation of this product. And with alkyne also, this product is formed and reddish brown color will be disappeared. It will become colorless. And if reaction is not happening, you are expecting the reaction to happen. Understanding? You are in a positive view that, yes, reddish brown color should disappear. So if that happens, you can say that it is a positive result. And if that is not happening, the one you are expecting is not happening, color is not disappearing or color is not changing, that is a negative result. So this is a negative result, you can say. Negative result. Understanding? In a similar manner, if you take a benzene pi bonds are not like a normal alkene pi bonds, not like a normal alkene double bonds. We already discussed benzene double bonds will be in a continuous delocalization, that bromine molecule cannot attack these double bonds. Therefore, it will give negative test. Giving a negative test means actually nothing is giving, but showing the negative result. So that itself we discuss. We use the words like giving a negative test means you are not getting any color change, whatever you have expected. But if you take some compound like this will decolorize the bromine water color. Why? It is not because of the double bonds of benzene. It is because of the pi bond or the double bond present outside the benzene. Understanding? It is because of this double bond which is decolorizing the bromine water. This is same like alkene. So it can react. And this will not react, same like this one. Okay, but at least if some part of the reactant molecule from the overall molecule, if some part itself is reacting, means whole over also you will see the result. Understanding? Therefore, you will get a positive result. Copy this page. This is a note for all aromatic rings. Okay, na? In the next page, they are there. What type of compounds, what are the exceptions and all. Okay, because today you are giving, do you remember today your test is MCT1, main pattern cumulative test, and it is conducted from head office, Kota. already you have given one test from quota, that is APT1. Remember APT1, the first advanced test you have given. This is a first mains test you are giving from the quota head office. Yes, completed. Sai Teja, Siddharth. Meanwhile, I will put charging for the pencil. Done. Yes. Next, you see. So benzene will not give the bromine water test, but there are other aromatic compounds which give bromine water test, which decolorize bromine water not by reacting their double bonds, in a different manner. The reaction will happen. We will not discuss how the reaction is happening, but one point what you have to remember is phenol and aniline will give positive test. Benzene is not giving the positive test, but phenol and aniline are giving positive test. See, when phenol is added with the bromine water, some different type of product is formed here. Still the pi bonds. See here, whatever the double bonds are there, that double bond is getting converted into single bond, na? Double bond is converted into single bond, but still, whatever the double bonds are present here, they are still present in the product. Understanding or not? So can you agree that the reaction is happening in a different manner? Here, unsaturated compound is becoming a saturated compound, but here unsaturation is still maintained as it is. But then also you are calling it as it is giving positive test. It is not because of how the product is formed. It is because of bromine molecule. Here Br2 molecule is broken down. The moment Br2 molecule breaks down, color will disappear. Khatam. And here also Br2 molecule will break down. So therefore, here also color will disappear. If color is disappearing, you can say that it is a positive test. Therefore, phenol and aniline are giving a positive result, whereas benzene is giving negative result. Okay. And some other compounds also I have written here. You see, one compound is missing. I'll write just right that one. Tell me, first compound, will it give positive test with bromine water or not? Yes, na? Everybody? positive result. Second, you can just type Y and N. Y means S, N means no. Right? Yes. Third, S. Very good. Fourth, no. Fifth, no. This is because this is a naphthalene, which is also an aromatic compound. Remember this point. Naphthalene, benzene. Then what about this one? Next compound. S, because this benzene will not give the test, whereas this double bond is a individual double bond like this one. Understanding or not? This is a double bond which is present individually. It is not a part of aromatic ring. It is just present like this, an independent double bond. So that double bond can give the reaction. Maybe benzene will not give the reaction. And last one will also give the reaction. This is an exception. Last one is actually, what is the last one? Last one is actually anthracene. Do you remember anthracene? In anthracene, what happens is the first and third benzene rings aromatic character will be retained, whereas the middle ring aromatic character is lesser, that it will lose, it will give the reaction with bromine water. And what product you will be getting here is, this is also, you see, in many of the books it will not be there. Okay, na? And even in a JEE main also, in this will not be asked. So these are some of the exceptions we should know. The product we'll be getting here is this is a compound. So Br2 molecule is breaking down to add bromine atoms here. Therefore, color will disappear. Okay, na? Copy this page also. This also you have to remember, phenol and aniline. Which one, Akshay? Last one. Last one is anthracene. In anthracene, middle ring aromatic character will be comparatively lesser. So that weakness will be encashed by bromine water. Okay, so that it will give the product. See, in a simple words, I am telling, it is not like a weakness or something like a story like that. But for your level, I am telling in a different way so that you will easily catch the point. There are concepts behind that which will be coming later on. Most of the reactions, organic reactions, mechanisms, applications, exceptions, all will come in 12th standard. Completed, everyone? Siddharth, Sai Teja, Dhruv. Yes. Next. Second reagent is a Bayer's reagent. By Bayer's reagent, how can we identify the presence of alkenes and alkynes? That is unsaturated hydrocarbons. Bayer's reagent is first of all a cold dilute alkaline camphor. You know what is camphor? Potassium permanganate. And what is the color of potassium permanganate? Pink or purple color, na? Dark pink or purple color we can say. Potassium permanganate. So this compound, sometimes Bayer's reagent is given with a slight modification also, that they try you to get confused. Like these examples you see. The reagent is given in the form of dilute camphor, not directly given as it as a Bayer's reagent or neutral camphor or 1% camphor. But all these, whatever it is, what is common here? Camphor. And this camphor, pink or purple color, will get disappeared if there is an alkene or alkyne. The same concept, only the reagent difference is there. Understanding? Suppose you take an alkene, and to this alkene you add a purple colored camphor. Then what will happen? If alkene is present, then camphor purple color will disappear. It will become this product will be formed, along with which MnO2 will be formed. That means not only the disappearance of purple color, but also the appearance of a blackish brown color. That means the whole solution will become very dark in color, blackish brown colored. It will convert into. So that color change from pink or purple color to black brown indicates that yes, there is some unsaturated hydrocarbon like alkene, alkyne, or cycloalkene, etc. And how what the actual reaction is happening, this I have given here. You see, whatever camphor is there, na, that will split into K2O, potassium oxide, then MnO2. This is what blackish brown colored compound, and three oxygen atoms, nascent oxygen we call it as. Oxygen will actually exist as O2 molecule. But if you are molecule in the form of diatomic molecule, but if you are making a oxygen atom to exist, then this is what is called as in atomic state. It is called as nascent atom, nascent oxygen atom. Okay, na? Individual atoms. So like that, nascent atoms will be released, and these are the atoms only which will go and attack on the double bonded carbon atoms, resulting in the formation of diol, two OH groups. Okay, so this is the MnO2 product formed. So pink or purple color changing into dark black or brown colored solution. Okay, na? And even with a triple bond also, the color will disappearance will happen with the formation of a diketone. Okay, copy this. Completed Siddharth and Saiteja. Dhruv? Yes. Next, test for terminal alkyne. See, till now what we have discussed is uh, overall to recognize double bonds, triple bonds all together. Okay, but this is a special test just to identify, particularly, specifically to identify the presence of terminal alkynes. So first of all, let us see what are terminal alkynes. What are terminal alkynes? Alkynes can be divided into two types, terminal alkynes and non-terminal alkynes. Terminal alkynes means the triple bond will be present at the last position, at the last, between the last two carbons. Last two carbons, or you can say that the first two carbon atoms, when you are saying that numbering is from that side itself. Okay, na? Point is it is at the terminal position, maybe last, first, whatever you feel. Okay, so when triple bond is present at the terminal position, the last carbon tetravalency is there, na? Three valencies are satisfied with the triple bond. The fourth valency, whatever is there, that is with hydrogen, and that hydrogen is the one which will have acidic character. Little acidic character will be there. It can be released as H plus ion. So because of that acidic character, if it is treated with the sodium metal, there can be release of a hydrogen gas. If it is treated with the sodium hydride, then also there will be release of hydrogen gas. And if it is treated with the sodium amide, there will be release of ammonia gas. These examples already we have discussed in the first reaction. That is a test for acidic hydrogen. Remember? And then if you treat with a Tollens reagent, if you treat the terminal alkyne with Tollens reagent, what is a Tollens reagent? Silver nitrate plus ammonium hydroxide. Silver nitrate plus ammonium hydroxide is Tollens reagent. So if you treat the terminal alkyne with a Tollens reagent, this hydrogen can be replaced by silver and will give this product, and this compound is insoluble in water, that it comes out as white PPT. It forms the white precipitate. That means the normal solution, clear solution, will get converted into white precipitate if you add Tollens reagent. When will this happen? When the alkyne is a terminal alkyne. If it is an internal alkyne like this one, there will be no reaction. So next, the same terminal alkyne, when it is treated with cuprous chloride. Cuprous chloride is Cu2Cl2. Cu2Cl2, when it is treated with Cu2Cl2 plus ammonium hydroxide is the reagent. So when the alkyne, if it is added with a cuprous chloride reagent, and if a red precipitate is formed, it means that the given alkyne is a terminal alkyne. If you are not getting a red PPT, it means that it is something like internal alkyne. Understood the point? These are the identification tests to test for terminal alkynes from the internal alkynes. Okay, na? Copy this page. Yes, completed. But completed everyone, not in a everybody write it. Even if you want 5 minutes more extra time also, just you can ask and complete it in the classroom itself. Already you are having the class timings are higher. So from morning to evening classes are there. But still, if you are keeping it pending, writing the notes like something that I will write it after the classes something, then it will be a big problem. You will not find the time after the classes much. The time, whatever is left over, will be needed for homework solving. Understanding? So you can ask whatever time is required in the class itself to complete your notes. Don't keep it pending by taking the screenshot, something like that. Next, test for a OH group. OH is a OH group means a hydroxy group. We know it, but based on with which carbon atom it is attached, the hydroxy functional group is divided into two types. One is if the OH group is attached to an sp3 carbon. OH group is attached to an S Rushil. That is the reason I tell Anna to keep the hand raised. Take down. Completed. Very good. So if OH group is attached to an sp3 carbon, then this is a normal alcohol. But if OH group is attached to an sp2 carbon, it is called enol. Enol. And same when OH group is attached to benzene ring, it is called as phenol. We already know this. Okay. For this type of compounds, identification test is different from this type of alcohols, this type of hydroxy compounds. So for these compounds, first of all, to identify whether it is an alcohol or not, we do CAN test. What is a CAN? CAN means ceric ammonium nitrate. Ceric ammonium nitrate. Okay. So if to the alcohol, if you add CAN, ceric ammonium nitrate of few drops, then if at all, if it is an alcohol, on addition of a CAN reagent, you will be getting the solution will be converted into brick red in color. So getting brick red color will indicate that the given compound is an alcohol. But the alcohol may be primary, secondary, tertiary, whatever it is. Basically, our function is not function. Our duty is here first just to identify whether it is an alcohol or not. Afterwards, once it is confirmed that it is an alcohol, then there are specific tests to identify whether it is a primary alcohol or secondary alcohol or tertiary alcohol. Can test is just to identify whether it is whether it is alcohol or not. Understanding? I'll write that point also here. You see, primary or secondary or tertiary. Okay, na? And now another one, you see, whatever these enols and phenols are there, they are having the other test called a neutral FeCl3 test, ferrichloride test. So when phenol or enols are treated with a neutral FeCl3, are added with a little amount of neutral FeCl3 reagent, the whole solution will convert into violet color. So if the solution is converting into violet color, it indicates that it is a phenolic compound. Understanding? And now let us distinguish between a primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols also by two methods, by two reactions. One is a Lucas test and another one is a Victor-Meyer test. That's I have explained in. I'll explain in next page. First, copy this page. Enol also same thing. Same violet color will be produced even with enols. Yes. Next, you see. Now, our duty is to distinguish between primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. We already know alcohol means OH group is attached to an sp3 carbon atom. sp3 carbon atom. And these are distinguished by two tests. First one is Lucas test. What is the Lucas test? The reagent is a concentrated hydrochloric acid, concentrated HCl plus anhydrous ZnCl2, zinc chloride. Okay, na? This is a reagent. And this alcohol is soluble in a Lucas reagent. LR means Lucas reagent. The alcohol is soluble in Lucas reagent, but as soon as the Lucas reagent is added, the alcohol will be converted into alkyl chloride. Alkyl chloride is insoluble in water. Alcohol is soluble in water, whereas alkyl chloride is insoluble in water. So as soon as the Lucas reagent is added, as alcohol will get converted into alkyl chloride, which is insoluble, it will be precipitated. Now coming to precipitate, different types of precipitation will happen. Precipitation, you know it. One thing is, suppose you are doing in a beaker some reaction you are doing. Precipitation, precipitate will be formed on the surface. This is a precipitate. In some reactions, precipitate will be formed at the bottom. It will be settled at the bottom as a sediment. And in some cases, the precipitate will be formed in the solution itself. It will be distributed throughout the solution, making the solution look dirty or unclear. Like one example is for the third type. One example is you take a glass of water and add a spoon of curd into it. So you can feel how dirty the water will become, how unclear the water will become, because neither it will settle down nor it will come out on the surface as a layer. It will be distributed over the water, but it will not be completely dissolved. It will be present as insoluble PPT only. So that is what is called as turbidity. That type of PPT formation is called turbidity. Okay. So when alcohol is added with a Lucas reagent, there will be formation of alkyl chloride, which is insoluble and will be forming a white turbidity. So clear solution will be becoming a white turbid solution. And how do you distinguish between a primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols is the time taken for the formation of white turbidity. So these alcohols take a different time periods to form the turbidity, white turbidity, Based on this point, based on this, based on the time taken, they are distinguished into primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. Based on time taken, I'll change this also. Primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols are distinguished. And how they are distinguished, that also I will explain. You see, tertiary alcohol will form the alkyl chloride PPT, but tertiary alcohol is highly reactive with the Lucas reagent. Immediately will be reacting with the Lucas reagent, that the turbidity will be formed instantaneously. Yes, the turbidity will be formed instantaneously. Immediately the turbidity will be formed. So whenever you are getting a turbidity immediately, within a minute you are getting, it means that the alcohol present with you is a primary alcohol. First of all, how do you know that you are given with an alcohol? For that, you have already done can test. Yes or no? Can test already you have done, and you have decided, you have fixed that the given compound is alcohol. Now your duty is to identify whether it is primary, secondary, or tertiary alcohol. So if you are getting a white turbidity immediately, it means you are given with tertiary alcohol. If it is taking a 5 to 10 minutes, little time it is taking, then it is a secondary alcohol. But if you are taking more amount of time, like 30 minutes to 1 hour you are taking, but still you are doubtful that is the turbidity formed or not formed, or little turbidity will be visible, then it is primary alcohol. If more than 30 minutes time is taken in formation of turbidity, then it is primary alcohol. Okay. Yes, based on that only we will identify Srinayan, that either they will give the time so that you have to recognize what degree alcohol it is, or they will give degree of alcohol that you have to recognize the time. Any one information has to be given so that the other point can be asked as a question. Okay, so that is what there is a point here. You see, this we will not understand it now, but not to miss the point, I have written it here, so don't worry. This point you will automatically understand once we complete the chapter called General Organic Chemistry, GOC, which will be after chemical bonding chapter. Okay, na? After chemical bonding chapter. Then next point is phenols and enols will not give Lucas test. Only alcohols will give Lucas test. Okay. The next Victor Mayer test is also there. First copy this Lucas test. No, no, no. Organic practicals will not be there. Organic practicals are not there in any of the syllabus, neither in intermediate board or what to say, CBSE, ICSE, never. Organic practicals are not there. What you will be having are inorganic chemistry practicals, salt analysis, identification of salts, like different things will be there. Organic practicals will start from little later, like graduation, post graduation. These all reactions I have done so many times. We have done these reactions because basically I myself from chemistry department, so much of the time we have spent in the laboratories itself, and that itself is actually the confidence we have in chemistry. Even in NIT Warangal, there were some classes like once the class is started, we will not sit in the classroom itself. We will be sitting in the laboratory only. In the lab itself, there will be the board and projectors. Everything will be available in the lab itself. So directly the professor also will come to the laboratory, will teach it, and then we'll continue with the experiments. Completed. Then copy this page also. Completed, Srinayan and Abhiram. Yes, that all I will discuss whenever we get the time. Okay. So then last reaction, you see, Victor Mayer test. Primary alcohol. See, first of all, there is a series of reagents you have to add. First one is phosphorus plus iodine. Phosphorus plus iodine. Second one, silver nitrite, not nitrate, nitrite, AgNO2. Then third one is nitrous acid. Then fourth one is a base like NaOH or KOH. These are the four reagents you have to add in the same sequence. Then if it is a primary alcohol, at the end you will be getting red color. If it is a secondary alcohol, by the end of adding all the four reagents in this particular sequence, you will be getting blue color. And if it is a tertiary alcohol, there will be no color formation. So with this a simple logic, how the color is changing after the addition of these four reagents, You can identify whether the alcohol given is primary, secondary, or tertiary. Okay, na? So this is a Victor-Meyer test. Copy this one. Even you do not understand what are the products are formed. See here, what products are formed, no problem. You remember this one. Like this. Primary alcohol, blood red color. Secondary alcohol, blue color. Then tertiary alcohol, no color change. This you have to remember. Copy this one. This is another one. This is another one. That was a Lucas test, and this is a Victor-Meyer test. Yes, those who have completed can leave. One C means enol will not give the reaction at all. We will decide first of all whether it is alcohol or enol. After that only we will get into. That is decided earlier itself, Roshan. That is already decided by CAN test and neutral FeCl3 test. Yes, these all we need to remember. Yes. Okay, completed everyone? Shall we close it? Okay, take care. We'll meet in the next lecture. Bye and all the best for your exam.